charging out in front. So we got the Titans. Vayne jumping out in front, wants to get the scout up there in the mid, but you also got Katarina coming on in. Right up there in the mid. So we got a nice little point defense coming for the Sentinels, but you also got the Titans getting ready for the invade. They have the Blitz. And Blitz is a fantastic champ to have for any level invade. In here, just it's so convenient just to reach on over, hook the blue on in, and get your kill on the blue.
Yeah, no, that's pretty standard. When you see the Blitzcrank, you have to expect it, and we'll see what can happen with them. They're actually coming up with the Karthus for the vision. Darkness is very close to walking into him. I hope he actually doesn't, because it seems like he does. The hook, is it going to come any second now? He doesn't actually throw it. There's the flash, Xeres.
Flash for
the
flash.
Flash from Darkness. That was unusual. I've never seen a Blitzcrank not like just immediately go for that hook before, but they're able to get out of there, so it's pretty fortunate for them.
But on the way out, though, you still got the Karthus. He's throwing down all the lay wastes just to make sure, just to check all the brushes, get that vision in retreat, because you never know. The Sentinels could have actually readjusted themselves on the way back in to try and pinch them as they're leaving the jungle, but that will not be the case. But invade, it's a flash for flash. I mean, it's still fine, but SGS will be fine taking their Wraiths and getting Xin Zhao started up on that red.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at what's going on there. Xin Zhao versus Wukong, or Maokai is kind of interesting, though, because what were the other junglers you said were banned? Skarner was?
Rengar was banned. And Shen, you can play him. I don't know, it's game number 2 going. Rengar, Shen, those are the only 2 junglers, actually. Both banned out by SGS.
Okay, so I'm sure that there's some things they like about Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao, as he gets later and later in the game, he can definitely carry, and his passive from his ultimate, he can get really tanky. So that's pretty nice. He does have pretty aggressive ganks. Maokai does have an advantage early in the game, though. He doesn't quite rely on gold as much as Xin Zhao does. And if Hallelujah, if he falls behind, then it can be kind of tough on Xin Zhao. He is moving in, though. Yorick's in a really dangerous spot. Wukong here as well, the red buff. They should be able to chase him down. He is going to flash, but he's actually going in for it. He's actually taking the turret. He might have to get out of there. Wow, just barely surviving. He gets the passive. No, he dies.
Minions OP. Do manage to take out Xin as he's retreating. So it's still 1 for 1. You still did get the gold for the first blood for SGS. I mean, it's not the best of trades, but you got the assist. You got the first blood gold. Net gain in a way, but you did lose the buff.
Well, unfortunately, it went to Xin Zhao because he can really fall behind as a jungler. That's a really big concern for him. It gives Wukong a nice little advantage, though. It's kind of interesting. Maokai Yorick should win the Wukong matchup with his he has the regen. Wukong's more of a burst champion, so the regen helps deal with that. He can harass down Wukong where Wukong can't be quite as aggressive in that lane, and I don't know. We'll see how that's going to kind of work. I think Wukong is interesting because we haven't seen a lot of him, but when we do, he tends to be very strong. I was actually talking with some people for Absolute Legends NA, and various other teams that have tried him out, and he has kind of mixed results. Azubu, they used Wukong in the first Zubu Blaze, I believe, used Wukong in the first OGN championship, and it was really strong. They were actually able to push and win in like 18 minutes, just by abusing that Wukong pick.
Yeah, we got to talk to Elements too. I mean, he's got the whole champ video and everything. He's like, I love playing Wukong. I love psyching people out.
I played with him one time, and he went 80 Wukong bot. It was weird.
Well, then having any bruiser bot is it's different. It's definitely different, and it's if you've never had to face up against it, man, I envy you, because it can be a real pain in the ass. Maokai coming on in. You guys, Xerxes, he's found out in the ward, but you do have Maokai edging on into the lane. Vayne looking for the tumble, looking for the damage. Does get Darkness pinned up against the wall. There's the flash. Twisted advance coming up from the Maokai Ignite, going down on Nunu, and that will be a quick kill for the Titans down here in bot.
Yeah, and Hallelujah coming up for skills. Once again, the flash is down, so they should be able to get this kill. The slow, and then the pop-up, he does go down. So that top lane definitely in control. Hallelujah in a decent situation here. He can try and snowball, but yeah, that's brutal. And now you see Cog, because it's against the Blitzcrank and Vayne, he's being completely zoned right now, and in a really dangerous spot. Maokai just running right up the lane to pick up that gank. So, considering they have the ward here and they had the vision as he was turning the corner, that's a little surprising. But, they were able to get the flash twisted advance, and that's really difficult to get away with. Maokai, his early game ganks are just really going to be brutal.
Yep. So it's 2-2. It's very still early on in the game. There's only about 300 gold, 400 gold separating both of these teams. But you still got Choi in the mid. He's farming. Equivocal is actually farming pretty well, but he is going to have to go back for mana. He already went back, got a Dorn's Blade, may actually pick up another just for a little bit something extra. York, however, I mean, SKL, he's not doing the greatest at the moment. He does not have his tier yet. He had that kill on him earlier. But as soon as he gets that tier, things will be all right for Yorick. I mean, Yorick, I mean, he's there for the harass. He's there to just stay in lane, get farm, keep that push on. But with a little bit of jungle help, even though he's not going to get exactly a kill on the Wukong, there's not really sufficient damage on Yorick just yet.
He can wear him out of lane at the very least.
He can do that. He can absolutely do that.
Even with Wukong having a nice advantage, as long as he plays passively. Choi kind of getting caught out here.
Nice.
Leah, he actually does use the flash, so not taking much damage. He actually jumps back in on the Maokai, gets some nice damage there along with a little help from the turret. So now he is level 6. He's actually in a great situation because Katarina does very well against Karthus. You can dodge some of the lay waste with your Shimpo. You can dive in, pick up that kill, and then you get the refresh, so you dive out or jump out again away from his passive. So that's going to be an interesting lane. And actually, Blitzcrank, he walks up to wards, so they take advantage of that a little bit. I thought they would go in a little bit harder, but they do back off, and it should be an even lane. Vayne and Cog, it's kind of a lane that we used to see a long time ago because Cog was like the standard late game carry with his long range and damage, but Vayne is actually probably the hardest late game carry, just because her damage output and utility with her tumble and also her condemn is so high.
Yeah, and also you need to be pair of Vayne with an equally aggressive support like Blitzcrank or an Alistar. We used to see the Vayne Alistar lane a lot just a few months ago. But with Blitz serves the same purpose. You bring him over, Vayne can tumble on in, get the condemn, get another stun, get some more CC, and with the Silver Bull, it's going to be able to get quite a bit of damage on that too. Just walking straight on up, getting the uppercut down onto Kog'Maw just for a little CC, just for a little annoyance. But both of the ADs are drinking those health potions as quickly as possible. Blue going to be passed on over to Karthus in the mid. We are going to be grabbing that. It's got Hallelujah back in his own jungle, grabbing the red once again. So hopefully we'll be seeing some ganks coming in from here. But Xerxes and NVM, they're getting pushed. They're getting sufficiently pushed to tower.
Xerxes?
Yeah.
Okay, like the Persian leader.
There's not. That's Zeri's. I keep.
No, that's fine. I think it's funny.
It's fine.
It's interesting. Cog and Nunu is a very strong bottom lane, and you see a lot of times Cog is just running straight at Nevermind. They actually have to watch out. They're really close to going down. The Karthus ultimate as well. Cog is not going to win this matchup. He does go down. He'll hopefully be able to pick this up, but the flash, the tumble, I think he's going to get out of there. Barely surviving. So the hook as well, Xerxes can chase down Darkness. But usually the Cog and Nunu is going to win that matchup. Usually it's a strong enough lane. They're going to be okay. Chai trying to come down. Can't quite find Vayne, but he should be able to get Blitzcrank not before Nunu goes down. But usually Cog and Nunu can win that matchup just by the free damage you get. Xerxes gets the flash though. Chai, that's a full exchange for them. So 2-0 for that bottom lane. Really successful there.
So you also have you got Xin. He's waiting up here in the top lane, wants to get another attempt down onto York. Is he going to be going for that dive again? Not so sure. But there goes the Wukong ult, keeping everybody popped up. You got the ghoul coming from York. Will actually still get the kill down onto Xin. He was taking a little bit too much damage from the tower. Equivocal wants that kill, but there's York. Ghoul, he's going to get the double on that one. So 2 for 1 up top lane. A bit of a misstep for the Sentinels.
And just real quick, guys, we are having some issues, but we'll be working through them, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, right now, BKT, they're in a great situation. They only have a 1K gold lead, but you've already seen a lot of the pressure they're able to get off some of the kills they get. They have the mobility boots on Maokai for that first item, so that's going to be really strong. But at the same time, you look at Xin Zhao on the other team, and he actually went straight for that Brutalizer as opposed to like a Wriggles or something. And I'll just tell you right off the bat, Brutalizer on Xin Zhao is incredible. Like, once you get that armor pen, it really is unbelievable how much damage he does when he dives onto you, and he gets the knockups from his Q. So it's really easy to snowball Xin Zhao once you get those early items. So we'll see where you can go from there. Generally speaking, he'll probably build just pretty tanky from now on. But a big key for this game could be in the bot lane matchup, and already Vayne and Blitz, they're in a decent position. It's still even between the AD carries. There's no advantage there, but Blitzcrank, he's ahead enough that he can start to be more and more aggressive onto Cog. They do have to worry about Xin Zhao, though, but they catch him out with the ward, so they should be okay. Hallelujah just going to waste a little bit of his time there.
I'm also noticing, I'm looking at Darkness right now. He's got the Ruby Crystal and he's got the Fairy Charm, and that's it. Like he's like indecisive on which GP10 should I go for. I need a little bit more health. Has no wards.
Engage Maokai coming up. The hook. Can he get it? Maokai, is he going to get in range? Blitz is easily going to go
He's
down.
fine. He's fine. The flash and auto attacks will be able to help. He didn't even really need the twisted advance there. Just like, you just need a little help. I'll slam the ground. It'll be fine. There's no escape on the Kog'Maw anyway. His flash and his heal have already been down for quite a while yet, so they know, they had knowledge. But you got Katarina and Xin coming on down, recognizing is like, hey, we need to help out a little bit. They're pushing up our bot tower pretty relentlessly. They can try it. They can give it a shot. Darkness, can he get a snowball? Something, anything. Sentinels are not going to be there in time. Too much distance has been cleared from the Titans, and they also have the Great Ward right there on the entrance to the river. But you also got Karthus actually following in pursuit.
I actually think the Titans could have engaged on that. They could have kited a little bit, but then turn around, get a hook or something. Just keep themselves in range to fight. Since they had the Karthus coming up, it would have been a 4v3. But they have to watch out. Hallelujah is here. They saw him a second ago. He is coming in the bottom lane. He has the movement speed, the slow, the flash into the exhaust onto Nevermind, and Hallelujah is going to be able to engage with the Condemn, perfectly timed. I still think that Vayne's easily going to go down. They get the vision. He's actually going to get the knockback to force her into the wall. The Nunu ultimate as well to pick up that kill. Hallelujah getting kind of low himself, but they get the kill. A nice exchange there. And actually in the meantime, during that whole deal in the mid lane, Cat goes down, but trading herself for Karthus. So that's an even exchange there.
Yep. But we will have Maokai here pushing the lane up just a little bit. But Sentinels feel confident that they can take Dragon on this ward out. Little ghost ward, by the way, coming in from Maokai, just for a little bit more vision, and just him on his own, and Zeri's being caught out there in the bot tri-brush. It's like, okay, we're being pinched. This could be a very bad spot for us, like a Blitzcrank, some CC for anything. The Dragon may be able to just take us out on his own with all the CC that the Titans are putting in.
I haven't gone into it. You were talking a second ago about Nunu starting off with the Ruby Crystal and the Fairy Charm.
Yes.
And that's actually very common on Nunu and Blitzcrank. I was actually kind of surprised that Blitzcrank didn't do it. He went for the Philosopher's Stone instead, because you want a little bit of HP early on. You need to be. They don't have heals as supports, so they need to be aggressive in order to win the lane and get that lane control. And having the extra HP, it allows them to be extremely aggressive. It allows them to just run up against the opposite AD, not have to worry about going down. So that's just kind of the quick thoughts there. Xin does see that he's doing the red. He's actually maybe going to get it in time. No, Hallelujah, a little bit slow. Is he going to get it? The smite goes off. He gets it just in time.
Nice.
He's actually in a dangerous spot, though. Chai going with the recall, gets back barely, and Med's okay. But in the bot lane, Cog does go down, and Blitz, is his hook down? I guess he just walked up and popped up Cog, but they're able to pick up the kill down there.
It's kind of funny, just Xin walking into that brush. It's like, oh, you're Maokai. You just stole my red. Well, I can't really do a whole lot about it. You're free to go. And it was strange because Chai in the mid was recalling. They could have spotted him out. He could have just allocated himself to go back into the jungle and try and get that kill. Darkness taking a little bit too much damage from the Vayne, needs to back up just a little bit. Chai down here in bot, trying to make something happen, trying to make plays, trying to get kills. Shunbo is back up. He could get in range, but also remember, there is the Blitzcrank pop-up, and the Silence and Vayne still is not too far away, but is now behind tower, taking up the small golems, and should be recalling and buying something nice.
Yeah, and Charlie hasn't really been able to get any engages anywhere.
Yeah.
He does have the DFG, so this is before the DFG nerfs.
Yes.
Still, but he wasn't able to. He's been kind of roaming around the map some, so his farm is actually really high. He's been able to use his AoE very nicely. They will be able to pick up this dragon here. Zeri is going to come in, try and see if he can just hook steal it. It's not going to be enough. He does actually get equivocal though, but he's in a dangerous spot. He actually might have held up long enough for his team. He did bait the mid. He does go down, and there's actually no follow-up, so it's still a 4v3 in SGS's favor. So they back off there, and that's a really nice play from them to try and take some advantages. Skills is actually going to take the top, but you see Wukong starting to get involved with the game. He's 3-1 right now. He's starting to get kind of tanky. He has that Hex Shrinker right off the bat, and we'll see how he transitions from there.
But the top tier 1 is taken out by Yorick, and if he's been allowed to just grab the top tier 1, do you think they're just going to leave Yorick there in top lane? It's like, well, you already got tier 1, you might as well stay up there. Wukong keeps leaving lane, see if you can't try to get to tier 2.
Well, Wukong can't really lane against Yorick. I mean, even with the early advantages, they had a couple of kills against Yorick. You see Yorick has 3 kills as well. Wukong doesn't have enough damage to kill him by himself. He would need Xin or someone to follow up with him. And so what will happen with Wukong versus Yorick is Yorick's just kind of slow and passive, going to just constantly harass him down. So Wukong just wants to walk up, push the lane. You see he did that. Then he walks over to the golems. He can push the lane and then roam. And he knows he's a killing machine right now. He wants to be able to use his ultimate every single time it's up to pick up some kills. So he doesn't want to stay in lane that often. And he's going to keep up his farm by moving up to the lane and pushing. But there's really no reason for him to just stalemate against Yorick, which is what it would be. It would just be a stalemate, or even in Yorick's advantage.
And at the very least, Yorick joining the fights, which actually he has decided to now. You're going to have the Ghoul. You're going to put it on either Karthus or on Vayne. And that's going to be a boatload of damage. And I'm just wondering how the Sentinels can deal with that now that they're actually fighting with the rest of the team.
For the gold on Vayne or
Yorick? The Ghoul. The Ghoul.
Oh, the Ghoul. I mean, I don't think the ghouls are going to be that much of an issue. Yorick's just kind of a tanky body. It is a concern they're trying to push. That's the real issue.
That is
the hook
on
Delilah. He's going to go down, so they take down Cog really quickly. Chai's here as well to follow up. I'm not sure they're going to have enough damage, though. Wukong's actually pretty low. If they can try and snowball, he jumps in. They picks up the first kill. Skills is pretty low as well. The Karthus ultimate's going up. I think Chai's going to be able to snowball this, though. He gets the double kill. Can he pick up the triple on the Blitz? And that'll give him the reset. He can get the Quadra as well. I think he did it. Did he get the Quadra?
Yes. Yeah,
no?
No, he got it.
Yes,
he
did. So Quadra kill for Chai. Really nice job there. Lee actually coming down and just turns it around really quickly, picking up all the rest of those kills. And Hallelujah just barely getting out of there, but Equivocal pushing down the top lane in the meantime.
Yeah, Equivocal, he's going to be able to get a bunch of damage down onto that top tier 2, provided he has the minion support in just a little bit. He can also steal quite a bit of the enemy jungle if given the opportunity. But you got Karthus coming on back up to the mid. He's going to be pushing that wave. And you're also going to get some free time for Hallelujah there in the bot lane. He and Maokai have actually been staying relatively even throughout this entire game. A little bit more involvement in the team fights from the Xin. He's also starting to really tank up. He's going to be building on into that Aegis next. But you do have the move 5 boots on the Maokai. You do have both of his GP10s. Does he have an Oracles, actually? I think that would be the next logical purchase. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, they're close to taking down this turret, but they're going to go down as well. Maokai's here. They try and get onto Vayne, but she goes invis for a second. Hallelujah, he loses his ultimate, but it's not going to be enough, so he does go down. They should be able to chase down Cog as well. Blitzcrank's going to try and get it. The flash and the condemn from Nevermind, and Xeres will be able to pull him back. The hook onto Nunu, so not quite what they're looking for, but still a nice advantage in that bottom lane. It's still an even game, though. So you look at everything, but the advantage, it is in Nevermind on Vayne. He's definitely in a nice situation.
Chai was coming down to help out in that fight, but just could not get there in time. So let's talk a little bit about Blitz. We're starting to head into the mid game. We saw the Blitz hooks for the most part have actually been pretty on point. Underneath their own tower, underneath their tower, doesn't quite matter. May actually get something here too. Darkness that you put in the ward. Nice flash out from Nunu, just barely gets out of it. So where do we see Blitz actually moving on in as we're starting to head into mid game?
I mean, he's Blitzcrank. He just runs around and kills people. He's a stone cold killer. That's all Blitzcrank really does. Is he has a lot of CC. He's going to be able to shut down Katarina pretty effectively in team fights, but he's going to look to hook people and pick up some kills there. I think the big concern for SGS is going to be the Vayne and the Karthus, because they have that really super late game team. They have the Yorick as well, so they're going to have the double Karthus, and that's always kind of something that's tough to go against, particularly if it's a best of one, which is this is a one game set, because they're just playing each other the entire season. So in that situation, they have to know, all right, well, we want to get Kog'Maw fed. Yorick, I don't think you get the Katarina reset off of the Yorick goal, actually.
I don't think you do.
It's kind of questionable. You might. I know you don't get it on Zillion. You do get it on the Karthus when he goes down. I'm not sure on the Yorick. I think you might, but I'm not sure. And if you don't, that's actually going to really hurt Katarina a lot in those team fights. And that's going to shut down their whole team. But we'll kind of see what SGS is going to do. Both teams have pretty solid late game.
Yeah, I've been looking to play Katarina a little bit more, but Katarina's really upped in popularity since the remake.
She's just a lot of fun to play.
She is fun to play, and it's like now I know what Scar's been talking about this entire time. But remember though, this is before the NA patch that we recently got. DFG has yet to be nerfed. But we're still seeing even before the nerfs, we're still seeing a transition into a lot of Magic Pen. You got the boots, and you have the Abyssal. So it's where's Katarina going? Like, from here, she's still seeing plenty of play, and. The Titans actually have
Katarina, all in all, is just a really strong champion.
Yeah.
We've seen Alex Ish playing Katarina a lot. Yes, she'll move more into that Magic Pen. This is a pretty standard build right now, recognizing she's going against the Karthus, so a lot of AoE damage. She wants to have that magic resist to kind of protect herself, and it's kind of a dangerous spot. BKT, they have to worry about the Wukong initiation and Xin as well, and then Katarina with the follow-up. So actually, SGS, they have three really strong late game carries in Xin Zhao, Katarina, and Kog. And I think that's kind of why they went for the Xin Zhao jungle, because Wukong, he's really strong in the mid game. He has great AoE damage and fight initiation, but he doesn't have a lot of follow-up. But going back to Katarina, she's great at snowballing fights. She's a great champion all in all. The slow on the Hallelujah as he's coming down, peeking at the dragon. It's not going to be enough. He's diving in. There's the Wukong as well. If he can get a good Wukong ultimate. And actually, Katarina jumps in. Lala with trying to back off the side. It seems that BKT might be able to turn this around, though.
But you Karthus right there at the bottom of the ramp. You got the AoE all day, every day. Twisted Advance down on the Cog.
Can he get Blitzcrank?
He will not
close.
get Blitz. He will not get Xerxes. But Equivocal, though, needs to get back to base. Needs to get back to safety, just so he doesn't get grabbed. And that was great positioning by the Titans. Fantastic. Just Karthus right there on the ramp. That was the perfect choke point. AoE hit everybody for the entire fight. That was amazing.
Yeah, and now they're going to be able to take down this mid-turret. Wukong, he does go up in the top lane. It's a 2K, almost 3K gold advantage for the Titans. You were asking about Blitzcrank earlier. Well, both Blitzcrank and Maokai, because of all the CC that they have, they're able to really effectively protect both Vayne and Karthus. Karthus, he can just really suicide in, though, and that's really what they're going to run with him. They have the Yorick for Karthus to just freely suicide. And that's going to be kind of tough, because SGS, they have an up-close and personal team. Other than Kog'Maw, Xin, Wukong, Katarina, they all need to be, just right in the middle of that Karthus AoE in order to be effective. And that's what happened in the previous fight. Karthus was able to get that triple kill. He was able to come off to a really nice advantage in that team fight just because of how much damage, he was able to farm up. He's at 186 CS, not the highest we've ever seen, but at 7-2, he's really farmed. So Rod of Ages, Rabadons, he's actually going for an elixir as well, so the next team fight, he's going to be even stronger. And that's really tough. He's about to hit level 16. Once he hits that level 16 ultimate, he could almost single-handedly win those team fights.
Yep, and it's also good. It's like, hey, Katarina, you got a triple earlier. Well, I'm Karthus. I can get a triple too. It's not too bad. He's gonna have a little bit of an easier time too, seeing as all this close range. This close range cyclone coming on in, all this CC is going to be great. It's great for Karthus. He'll be able to get all the positioning he needs into these later fights.
Oh, and they're waiting. They're hoping that Vayne would push up and see if they could pick him off. He doesn't, so they will back off and see where they can press. Kog'Maw finishing up the Phantom Dancer. You see Vayne already has a BF sword, so significantly far ahead or further ahead. Kog'Maw hasn't been able to pick up any kills in these fights.
Most deaths on the team.
Yeah, most deaths on the team. They've been putting on a lot of pressure onto him. So we'll kind of see how that works. They have great ward coverage right now.
Right.
Maokai hasn't really been able to, clear out a lot of those. So SGS, they're able to keep control. Hallelujah, a little bit dangerous. He will be able to back off. But it's allowing them to keep an eye. So they see, Bangkok Titans, they're all moving towards the mid lane. All right, we'll try and counter mid. They actually really are going to struggle though, because they don't have any AoE clearing. Katarina needs to get melee in order to clear. Kog has a little bit, but really insignificant. So BKT can actually push up and take turrets pretty quickly.
Yeah, if the Sentinels want to contest any of this, they have to get up. They have to get up close. They have to get personal, and try and just out CC, out damage, which it's not going to happen. Like, their main source of AoE CC is Wukong right now, and he's got a lot of health. He's relatively tanky, but it's not enough. It just simply is not enough.
And as SGS right now, it seems like they might be trying to force a fight, or at the very least force BKT mid. So they do come mid. The slow goes off on the Hallelujah. They actually might be able to get a hook here and force this fight again.
There's the hook. It will be missing its mark, but the Titans are still going to be able to put down quite a bit of pressure.
They're split.
And there you go, Equivocal. He's going on in. He's trying to initiate the fight with his ultimate, starting things off, trying with the DFG, looking for the ult in the middle of the fight, but he will get the kill down on Maokai, and Nuna going down too. Karthus, he goes down, but he has the AoE. He's got the ultimate, and he's getting and get quite a bit of damage on down. But for now, though, it's just a simple 3 for 3. I mean, Cog and Wukong are still pretty healthy, but Wukong, he was a little bit hungry for kills. The shutdown coming from Vayne a little bit too overzealous, and that is the ace coming on in for the Titans.
Oh, and even exchange, and then they throw it away.
Yeah.
Vayne and Xerxes, they're in a great situation here. They can take the base turret. That's really going to set up them up for an easy inhibitor later on. But I don't know. It was interesting to watch the fight progress because you saw Choi. When he originally jumped in, he actually used his DFG onto Maokai and was able to take him down pretty quickly. But usually you don't expect Maokai to be your primary target. And I think that goes back to the whole Karthus thing. He would want to take down Karthus, but he knows that if he takes down Karthus and the ghoul is up, he's not going to be able to snowball the fights that he would like to. He wanted to be able to jump around and snowball those fights, but. It's a tough situation because you see they're winning those long protracted fights. Now Yorick, he actually has the Zeke's Herald, so that takes some pressure off of Blitzcrank. And Blitzcrank, or most supports, it's kind of difficult to get into your items quickly. So Maokai has the Aegis, Zeke's Herald on the Wukong. So those team aura items, kind of being split around, and that's going to be really strong. I mean, Vayne in particular, it's already difficult for them to deal with Vayne. Vayne can just stay around the backside. Wukong was able to initiate, but he wasn't able to ever touch Vayne for the most part. And Vayne's going to be able to turn it around as long as she has a tanky body to take body shots for her. And
just if you want to get more tanky too, and Blitz is actually he's got the catalyst. I think he's going into a Banshee's Veil just to stay a little bit more tanky. Get that spell shield up. That'd be amazing. But you do have a DC from Troy, but that's okay. You got skills looking to duel 1v1 versus Hallelujah, but here comes the rest of the Titans. Twisted Advance coming on in. The Q will be more than enough. Tries to get away by focusing the Blitz, but that is a 3v1. You will not be winning that. And that is going to be a Baron possibly attempted by the Titans. They did clear the ward.
They easily have enough damage with Karthus and Vayne, but they're actually just baiting it in. They're watching SGS walk right into them.
Troy with a face check first out in front. Gonna be killed first by the Vayne. You got the Noodle trying to make a difference, but Darkness will be going down, and the rest of SGS was falling one by one by one.
Well, it was the Karthus ghoul from beyond the grave. He was able to take down Kog'Maw. Now he's actually going to do what damage he can. This is going to be dangerous. They need Karthus to tank. He's gone now, so they have a couple of seconds of his passive. Xerxes, his passive is down, so they have to watch out. Yorick's tanking as well, but they have enough damage. They will drop this, take the Baron, and that's a huge advantage for BKT.
Take one for the team. Very well done. Very, very well done. The Titans are in they're in such a commanding lead now. I don't know what the Sentinels can actually do from here, because you saw it, every time they're going down in for the initiation, they're starting things off with the Wukong. They're doing this mass AoE, and Titans just frankly have more damage.
No, they easily have more damage. You see, I mean, SGS, they have a lot of damage as well. You see in the last fight, everyone was getting kind of low from the AoE from Choi and from Wukong, but they don't quite have enough to finish it off. And every team fight that's just slowly going against them is putting them further and further behind, and that actually is going to be like an exponential turnaround for a BKT, where SGS will start to do fights where they just can't snowball, they can't get Katarina to get those resets and pick up a number of kills, and very quickly BKT could just become too tanky for them to deal with. But you saw the idea of their team is they have Katarina and Wukong to just dive in, get off massive AoE damage, try and win the fight for them, then Kog'Maw in particular to pick up the pieces of the fight, grab people here and there, and they're just barely not able to make it happen. Like it's very close, but they're barely not able to make it happen, and part of it has to do with how much damage Kog has. I mean, Kog is fine, you can go with the Phantom Dancer build, it's a really strong build, but at this point in the game, you compare Kog with Vayne, and Vayne is just vastly superior at this point and has the damage from the passive procs and from her ultimate. So it's difficult. It's the AD versus AD. BKT's in a massive advantage, and Karthus is still, they have to deal with the Karthus goal. In the previous fight, the Yorick on the Karthus, they easily won that.
Oh, SGS trying to get the sneaky initiation from the bush. You got Wukong right down there into the backline, popping up the ultimate, and Karthus will actually be the first one to go down, but here comes the ultimate. He's going to be getting a lot onto this one. Hardly caught out in front. Troy looking for something, looking for damage after the fact, and will not be able to get it. Full out ace, 1 for 5. Only the Karthus going down in that exchange.
Well, and you saw, that's what we were talking about, is the fact that because they have a snowball kind of team in team fights, they need to get the reset on Katarina in particular. They're starting to get too tanky where it doesn't matter. They can't can't take down enough members. They can't kill them fast enough. And BKT, as a result, they're in a great situation. They're going to be able to push in. They're going to be able to get an inhibitor off of this. And it's tough. I don't know how SGS is going to turn this around. Usually you can see COG and say, all right, as the game progresses, we're going to eventually, or they're going to eventually be able to win with the COG. But it's difficult for them right now. York's even able to tank the turrets for them with his ghouls. They can move in. They're going to get 2 inhibitors. They actually might have to back off. It's very close, so they do back off.
Play it safe.
Inhibitor, but they can grab the second one fairly easily. SGS is forced to just, they don't have any sort of real poke. They have Kog'Maw, but that's it. So they're forced to just dive in really and just go balls to the wall for the fights, and they're not picking up the kills that they need to.
Yep, so the Super Minions will now be pushing down in bot lane. And, the world is the Titans' oyster right now. It's like they can push any lane they want. They have all the damage they need. Karthus, he doesn't really need the Baron buff. I mean, it helps immensely, but right now he's the sacrificial lamb, and he's okay with that. Karthus, in many comps like this, in many strategies, he's going to be going to suicide. That's fine. The rest of the team, you're caught in his AoE, and the rest of the team will pick up on the rest of the pieces.
That's a lot of times that's what you want. You see, you can have kind of varied Karthus play.
Right.
Karthus can sit on the back line and kind of poke with his lay waste, but a lot of times, particularly when you don't have mobile ADs like Kog'Maw, you just want to dive in, and that's one thing that Reginald TSM, he's great with when he plays Karthus. He's very strong at diving in. But you see, it can be difficult. It's not a trivial thing. We've seen recently it was Curse versus Alternate maybe, and Alternate wasn't able to actually get that Karthus into the back line. I believe I don't remember. I'll have to take a look at one of the matches. But it's not always. It seems like such an easy thing. You're like Karthus, just dive in on top of the enemy team and suicide. But it really can be difficult sometimes. But fortunately, SGS they have a team comp where they have to dive in. So it really takes that burden off of Karthus, off of Leah. They do have the wards up here, so they have to watch out. They have to just back off and allow them to have this.
Yeah, granted, you do have a Guardian Angel on Wukong. He's looking for that sneak attack. He wants to dive in the wall. Pain actually got to keep him a little slowed. I think Equivocal is actually looking for the initiation, but Hallelujah off on the side, taking free damage.
Yeah, allowing himself to be worn down. Blitzcrank's in a really great situation to force a fight for them.
So there's the inhibitor mid going down rather quickly. The Titans continue to push on it, and you have all the super minis now pushing up on the bot. Sentinels need to take care of those too, but now it's 2 lanes with super minis pushing on in. That's quite a bit to deal with, and we've talked about this before. They don't have the best wave clear in the world. Granted, now they don't have, it's only super minis. They're not going to have the Titans behind it for the time being. You need to get very close with Sentinel's team right now to clear wards. You need Katarina to be right there. You need Wukong to be right there, but that's plenty of time. Titans just can go ahead and take out an undefended tier 2 and bot, and they're pushing on in tier 3, and Sentinels, they cannot defend this forever. You're going to have super minions in your base very soon.
Oh, there's the hook. Hallelujah. He's in danger spot. He's going to go down. Equivocal trying to force the fight. Kog'Maw is actually pretty safe right now, but there's no way they can win this. BKT's in a great spot to clean up.
Karthus dies anyway, but that's fine. He's going to be able to get plenty of damage on Choi, and there is the Karthus ult coming in Equivocal. That's the GA popped. He's got nowhere to go. Choi going to be going down. Wait for to condemn something, anything, and that is the ace. I think this game belongs to the Titans.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push in, take the Nexus. So that is going to be this first game from the GPL this past week. It's Bangkok Titans versus SGS, and Bangkok Titans, they do win. They haven't actually won a lot of games. Do they have a losing record in the season?
Up until 2 weeks ago. Up until 2 weeks ago, the Titans have never won in the GPL. But 2 weeks ago, they beat the Eagles. Last week, they beat the Hunters, and now they beat the Sentinels. So they're it's a little late in the league to actually be shown your stuff, but it's better late than never, I suppose.
No, very big congratulations to them. I'm curious if they've been practicing, with some of those other teams that we've seen, like TPA or Saigon Jokers, but they're able to take home that win. Congratulations to the Bangkok Titans. We'll see how they do going forward. If they can, raise their standing out of that last place. I don't know if that's even possible at that point.
At this point, I don't think so.
But we'll see what's going on. We're actually going to take a quick break, then we'll be back. We're going to take a look at another game. What is the second game that we're looking at?
Next game coming up is the Saigon Jokers versus the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Oh, cool. And the Saigon Jokers, of course, they were at the Season 2 World Championships, and they did beat Dignitas. So we'll take a look at those games. We'll be right back after this commercial break.